Hey guys, today I want to talk about the current layout of our van and most importantly, why we're going to change it now that we've lived in it for several multi-day trips. You can learn from our experience and our mistakes in case you're building your own van, you're deciding on different layouts, or if you're following along on our journey of getting out more with the van. So this is our current layout. It consists of a bench right behind the driver's seat. You got a bed at the back, 36 inches of clearance for bikes. Got the galley here and enough space below for the 100-liter Dometic fridge that I bought. And it's right beside the side entrance door. What do I like about this layout? Well, I like that it has easy access to the lounging area. Another benefit is that when the bed is pulled out, so it goes from there to here, there's the other bracket that this slides out to. Then you can use this as a nightstand for the bed when it folds out. And what I like about the high bed is that you can store a lot of things down here. It's cavernous. So this is the first issue. This pathway is only one person wide and barely one person wide. And that makes it very challenging for when somebody's at the sink doing something and somebody is coming on this side trying to pass through. We always usually have to have somebody go onto here to clear out of the way for someone to pass through. The second issue is loading the cooler from outside is really difficult. So let's say we're starting here with the empty tray like that. Initially, my thought was it would be very easy to load it from the side door, which is right here. But in reality, the shape of the cooler and the weight of the cooler when it's loaded, it's like 40, 50 pounds. And there's not a lot of extra room to move the cooler into here because the cooler has to first come in here lengthwise, then it has to rotate, then you have to dip it in, and then you have to try to get it down without touching this edge. Trust me, it's difficult. Another issue we'd like to address is that the cooler must be fully pulled out before you can open the lid, or else it will get stuck on here. Now, it's a small detail, but it makes it much more cumbersome to use because let's say you have like shoes here or anything that's blocking this way, and this is the entrance, means you can't open this fully, and that means you can't access the fridge. The trade-off of having bike storage is that you're left with very little room at the top. So by having the bike storage down there, you trade off having the ability to sit up in bed. There's definitely no way I'm doing it. One limitation I'd like to resolve is the fact that the sink is covered when you pull out the bed. Normally when you go to sleep, you pull this out and the bed ends up being here, and then the sink is completely covered, and you better hope you have brushed your teeth before we pull the bed out. Now, this happened because we originally had expected to be able to sleep sideways, but after experiencing that a few times, and it's primarily for me, it's much better to have the bed pull out this way, and then there's a lot more room for two people. So to resolve these issues with the least amount of effort, the way we're thinking of doing this is to take this galley and rotate it and put it here instead. So that way the sink is here and the galley will come up to about here and provide an empty space that will, instead of being here, the empty space will be back there. And that gives us a couple of advantages. Then what we can do is we can take this bed and actually mount it lower and allow it to come out. And I can just simply put more of these brackets on the side to enable that. And that allows us to store bikes if we really need to by putting the bed up here, or on the times when we don't have the bikes, we can simply lower it and then be able to sit up in bed at the same time. This also has the added benefit of moving this couch lounging area to the back. This allows us to reuse the bed, whereas normally, like in this configuration, this is the lounge area, but that really isn't because you can't actually access it from down here very easily. And then with the galley here, I'll need to make a similar small toilet box basically and put that right here in this corner. And then that way it can be out of the way and the bed can still be pulled over it because it'll be a small low box. And eventually we want to have a shower system going on here because the box will doubles both as the place where the toilet sits and also will have a shower pan in it like it does now. And in that case, it makes the cooler pull out from here now. And I just thought of this, that if that's the case, then the cooler might actually hit the toilet that's going to be now there. So I may need to take this cooler and move it over to that side. It might make the fronts look a little weird because you'll have drawers that aren't all lined up, but that's what we have for now. Also, with the galley being here and the kitchen sink being right here, then we can install a kitchen faucet and it won't get in the way of the bed being pulled out, which is why I have this temporary faucet here to allow the bed to be pulled out without hitting a faucet that's standing up there. So essentially, by making these changes, we're going to reorganize this empty floor space, which turns out to be very important for getting around, to this area. So all the empty space will be here, and then everything else, like the kitchen galley and toilet and most likely a bench seat at the very back there, will be all on the sides of the inside of the van, which allows you to have this more of a square or rectangular empty space, which would allow people to move around without having to force them to get out of the way in a narrow channel like that. Also, with the bed being lower, we might be able to put some kind of roof-mounted cabinets in the corners now to not risk hitting our heads. So what are the cons I see in this new layout? Well, with the bed lower, then you're not going to be able to store bikes vertically anymore. But you might be able to get them in sideways, which, you know, we haven't been bringing the bikes too often, so that will likely work for us. And that's it. That's the plan for how we're going to rearrange the furniture inside the van. So it's along one side and the middle. So then we end up with an empty space by the sliding door when you come in so that you can access everything without bumping into each other. Stay tuned for the next few videos where we'll do this work. Thanks everyone for watching and making it this far. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.